Hello. Uh, I have some very noisy neighbors outside, but I'm afraid if I don't make this video now, I might procrastinate and fail to make it in any reasonable time frame. So please excuse them. I hate them. So this medicine here, this video is about this medicine here, 補中益氣湯, and I try and keep it as short as I can, which for me is a challenge. I explain the title, the name first, because it matters, I think. Bu means repair. Well, the whole title means repair the middle and increase the qi medicine. So, Bu, the character, is a picture of somebody repairing a torn garment. The middle, Zhong, is a picture of an arrow shot into the middle of a target. For example, China in Chinese is Zhongguo. It means the middle kingdom, the country in the middle. In the middle of what? I don't know. Anyway, so repair the middle. In this case, the middle means the middle of the body. The middle of the body in Chinese medicine means the digestion system, more or less. The digestive system. Yi, Qi. Qi is the body's energy, internal energy. The same thing which in yoga is called prana. In different cultures, in African Bushmen, in the Kalahari, they call this num. Every tribe has had a name for this. Many tribes have become sophisticated living in cities, and they lost the natural way of life, and they lost the tribal knowledge, so they lost the name for this energy. But the energy is the same. The name is different, but the energy is inside every human being, a kind of electrical energy, I suppose. So Yi Qi means increase the qi. So the whole thing is Bu Zhong, repair the middle, the digestive system. Yi Qi, in order to increase the qi. So one of the very common things this is used for is for tiredness. So tiredness in Chinese medicine usually means we have not enough body's energy. Sometimes because the digestion is not very good, sometimes because the appetite is not good, sometimes we haven't eaten enough, sometimes we've eaten but we've eaten the wrong things, difficult to digest. So this is the meaning of the title. Now, the ingredients here, I go through them one by one. I mentioned the Chinese name. It's going to be difficult to understand, so I'm going to put this list in the description underneath the video. So if you want, one by one you can check each of these herbs, and some of these have quite a lot of research, Western medicine research, into the chemicals of them and various diseases, various effects. Especially the first one, Huang Chi. Huang Chi is similar to ginseng, but is better for tiredness, and is better for immunity, for increasing immunity. Huang Chi. I don't know what kind of, it's a kind of a root. But ginseng also has some qualities which Huang Chi doesn't have. So this formula also includes ginseng. Generally speaking, we can say these two are good for the whole body systems. Huang Chi Renchen. Gansao, Gansao, is a Chinese name for licorice, and they cook it in a pan, and mixed with honey is a special method of preparation. So they have certain different methods of preparing the herbs in order to change the chemistry of them. In those days, they didn't know anything about chemistry, but they knew a lot about trying different things and seeing what works, because they had 1,000 years of knowledge to experiment, 1,000 years of human experiment. And this formula was made in 1247 AD. So nearly 1,000 years ago, but 800 years ago. So some of these are herbs which are grown in China, and you may not be familiar from daily life in here, in the UK or in Europe. Some of them you may be familiar, or more or less familiar. So da zao, so licorice everyone is familiar. Da zao means red dates. Red dates, it's a date, like a brown date. But in China they use the red dates for the stomach and also for the energy level. I had a friend in China, he was Hungarian, and he told me that he had a chronic diarrhea. And he told me that one of the girls said to him, one of the students, take 2 red dates every day, put in hot water, drink the water. And he told me that as long as he did this, he had no diarrhea. But he told me that as soon as he stopped doing this, he had again diarrhea. So the reason for something like ginseng or Huang Chi, not necessarily have to keep taking it all the time. It's not like coffee. This whole energy from this Chinese herbs is not like coffee. You have a coffee in the morning, tomorrow you have to have another coffee, you have to have another coffee for the rest of your life. And it makes you give energy for a few hours and then again crash. So the effect of this remains. So for example, if you want, you can take it for 5 or 10 days and take a break if you want, depending on the situation. So red dates. Next, baiju. Baiju is a kind of fungus that grows like a mushroom fungus that grows on a tree. It has the most amazing smell, beautiful smell. In the pill form and the powder form, I don't think you're going to be able to smell anything, but you certainly will have the effect. This builds up energy, but it's weaker than ginseng, and it's weaker than Huang Chi. So the question is, why do we include this? The answer is because it removes excess fluid from the body. Ginseng adds fluid to the body. Baiju removes excess fluid from the body. Huang Chi also removes excess fluid from the body. Licorice adds fluid to the body. Red dates add fluid to the body. So you can see the whole formula is balanced between herbs which are a bit drying and herbs which add fluid. So, excuse me, scratching my nose, my eye. So I wash my hands, otherwise I shouldn't scratch my eye. So, yeah, so this is the reason why if you have 10 herbs in a formula, it's not random. It took about 1,000 years, more than 1,000 years, in fact, because previously when this formula was made, there was maybe 3,000 or 4,000 years of knowledge before of using these same herbs. So, chenpi, you will recognize. Chenpi is tangerine peel. Simply the skin of the tangerine. It's good for healing the stomach and the digestive system, and it smells lovely, and it's good for removing excess fluid and this kind of phlegm which sometimes people have. Phlegm. Dangui. Dangui is quite famous in China as a herb for women's problems, but in fact it's good for everybody, not just for women. Dangui Radix Angelica Sinensis. Dangui is a root of Angelica plant. It's very good for the blood. Dangui, very good for the blood, for the heart, and so on. Then Shengjiang, everybody knows Shengjiang, not by that name. Shengjiang is Chinese for fresh ginger. Fresh ginger. So, so far we have licorice, we have red dates, we have tangerine peel, and we have fresh ginger. These 1, 2, 3, 4. These 4 things are things which you can find all over the world, even in the supermarket. The other things are the things which are specially grown in China. They're strong and they give energy. So the last two are very important because they raise the energy up. So if we feel sleepy, in Chinese medicine they say the qi, body's qi, it's produced in the middle of the digestion and from respiration. but it doesn't rise up to the brain and the heart and the brain to make us awake. So the two last herbs in small quantity here, they are Chinese, you can't find them here, so they're imported. Chai hu and Sheng ma. Chai hu is like a kind of a twig of a tree, of a bush. Sheng ma, I don't think I've ever seen a raw Sheng ma, but I think it's a kind of a root. My cat. So these two specifically, most of the others, they are to support the body, increase the body's immunity, increase the body's natural healing capacity, help the digestive system. But the last two, Sheng ma, Chai hu, they are like a string to pull up the energy up to the heart and to the brain, to make the person awake, and also if the person suffers depression, it can also bringing the energy up to the head can be for some kinds of depression. Depression is complicated, but some kinds of depression also Huang Chi can help, and also people that have problems with their lungs, people that have problem with their heart. Bringing the energy up is benefits all of the upper body organs. So I hope this hasn't been too confusing. I hope it's been a bit clear. I saw some other videos. I looked for some other videos about this subject. I got excited. I thought, oh, that's a good idea, videos instead of websites. But the videos were so bad because unfortunately in this profession there are so many amateur people, so many idiots, so many people who really have no idea what they're talking about. And in fact this is a real kind of medicine, like a normal, similar to normal medicine, and it's not a game and it's not a fashion, and people shouldn't talk about things if they don't understand them. So I spent many years trying to understand them. I learned Chinese, I lived in China, I worked in China. I don't pretend to be, I mean, in China many people, they know much more than me. But at least I try to be sincere, and I try to care about people who are suffering. You have to care about them, and you have to be serious, and you have to have knowledge, and try to have knowledge, humbly try to have knowledge. Anyway, 12 minutes, probably too long, but you can always press pause at any time or delete.